Picture the year 1912 inside a crumbling villa outside Rome. Among dusty shelves and forgotten chests, an antiquarian named Wilfrid Voynich carefully unwraps a bundle of parchment. What he finds will change his life and perplex the world for more than a century. In his hands lies a manuscript unlike any he has ever seen. About 240 pages of calfskin vellum, filled edge to edge with writing in a script no scholar recognizes. The letters flow like liquid, repeating in patterns that suggest a real language, yet defying every attempt to link them to Latin, Greek, Arabic, or anything else in the historical record. Alongside the text, illustrations unfurl, fantastical plants that look half familiar but impossible, diagrams of stars, suns, and moons, naked women bathing in strange pools connected by pipes and tubes, pages that seem to depict recipes or lists, though in a tongue no one can read. Voynich, an experienced collector of rare books, knew at once he had stumbled onto something extraordinary. But he couldn't know that more than 100 years later, this book would remain an unsolved puzzle, as infamous as it is indecipherable. Today we call it the Voynich Manuscript, often dubbed the world's most mysterious book. Carbon dating has confirmed it is authentically medieval, produced sometime between 1404 and 1438. Yet, despite the attention of top codebreakers, from World War II cryptographers to the National Security Agency, no one has convincingly read even a single sentence. It is not a simple forgery, not a child's scribble. It is a crafted work of knowledge or deception that has eluded the brightest minds. For every page that opens, the riddle only deepens. What is this manuscript? Who wrote it? And why does it remain so stubbornly silent after 600 years? Crack open the Voynich Manuscript, and you step into a world that feels both medieval and alien. Every page brims with ink and color, yet the meaning stays maddeningly out of reach. Scholars have divided the book into rough sections, guided not by the text, which no one can read, but by the illustrations that dominate its vellum pages. The herbal section fills much of the manuscript. Page after page shows plants, inked in fine detail, then shaded in green, brown, and blue. Some look almost real. A leaf here recalls sage, a blossom there resembles violets. But the stems twist unnaturally, the roots knot into impossible tangles, and no botanist has ever identified them as actual species. Were these careful copies of plants lost to time? Hybrids from a medieval imagination, or symbols with hidden meaning? Then there are the astronomical and cosmological pages. Here, suns blaze, moons orbit, and starbursts scatter across circles of text. Zodiac symbols, Aries, Pisces, Scorpio, appear in medieval style, but they are surrounded by strange wheel-like diagrams no astrologer can fully explain. Some illustrations even show star charts dotted with unfamiliar constellations. If this was an astronomy manual, it doesn't match the sky as we know it. The biological section is among the strangest. Dozens of small, nude female figures are drawn bathing in tubs, standing in pools, or connected by an intricate web of pipes. Some appear to flow into starbursts or roots of plants. Their purpose is baffling. Is this symbolic alchemy, a medieval medical guide to the human body, or something else entirely? Next, the pharmaceutical section shows plant roots drawn separately, next to jars and containers painted with care. This suggests recipes, remedies, or cataloged ingredients, a kind of apothecary's notebook. Finally, there is the recipe section, dense pages of short paragraphs, each beginning with a star-like bullet point. The text lines up like a list, perhaps instructions or formulations. But with the words unreadable, all we can do is guess. Taken together, the manuscript gives the impression of an encyclopedia, a collection of knowledge, organized and deliberate. And yet, the content is so strange that it resists categorization. If it was meant to preserve wisdom, it has locked it away in riddles. If it was meant to deceive, it has fooled us for centuries. From the moment Wilfrid Voynich revealed his manuscript to the world, scholars, codebreakers, and amateur sleuths have hurled themselves at its tangled script, and every single one of them has failed. At first glance, the text behaves like a real language. It has recurring words, a consistent alphabet of 20-30 characters, and statistical patterns that mirror natural speech. It is not random scrawl. The mathematics prove that much. But that's where the clarity ends. No known alphabet, ancient or modern, matches the script. It's not a twisted form of Latin, not a disguised Arabic, not even a rearranged alphabet. It simply doesn't fit. Over the past century, countless solutions have made headlines, only to collapse under scrutiny. In the 1950s, the U.S. Army's greatest codebreakers, including William Friedman, the man who broke Japan's wartime cipher, spent years attacking the manuscript. They had cracked Enigma. They had broken codes once thought unbreakable. But when it came to the Voynich Manuscript, even Friedman admitted defeat. In 2017, a Canadian scholar claimed it was a women's health manual in abbreviated Latin. Yet his translations bent grammar until it snapped, and colleagues dismissed the work. In 2018, another researcher insisted it was written in Proto-Romance, an early form of vulgar Latin, a discovery that briefly made global news. But within weeks, linguists debunked it as flawed methodology and wishful thinking. The manuscript has inspired wilder theories, too. Some declared it the lost language of Mexico, others a secret scripture of medieval heretics. Each time, specialists examined the claim and found the same problem. The text could not be translated consistently. What looks like a breakthrough one week dissolves into errors and contradictions the next. Even computers, trained to analyze vast patterns in text, have failed to crack it. Algorithms recognize order, syntax, the rhythm of language. But when asked to match the Voynich script to any known tongue, the results are inconclusive, contradictory, or nonsensical. Every false solution has only deepened the manuscript's legend. If the finest codebreakers of the 20th century, the best algorithms of the 21st, and centuries of linguists can't decipher a single paragraph, then what is this book? A genuine but forgotten language, or the cleverest deception of the medieval world? When reason fails, imagination takes over, and few enigmas have inspired more colorful speculation than the Voynich Manuscript. One of the most enduring ideas is that it contains forbidden knowledge hidden in code. Some point to medieval intellectuals like Roger Bacon, a 13th century friar fascinated with alchemy and astronomy, or John Dee, the Elizabethan magician and advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Perhaps, they suggest, the book is their encrypted record of occult secrets, concealed from church authorities who would have condemned such studies as heresy. But historically, the dates don't line up. The parchment predates Dee, and there is no evidence Bacon had anything to do with it. Still, the idea of a secret grimoire cloaked in cipher is irresistible. Then there are the alien theories, the strange plants that don't exist on Earth, the star charts that don't match known constellations. Could the book be a relic of contact with extraterrestrials? Perhaps even written in their language? Serious scholars dismiss this outright, but in the public imagination, the Voynich sometimes drifts into the same territory as crop circles and UFO sightings. a hint of the otherworldly left for us to ponder. More grounded, but no less intriguing, is the hoax hypothesis. In this telling, the manuscript is nothing but an elaborate con, crafted to deceive a wealthy patron. The most likely target? Emperor Rudolph II of Bohemia, a ruler in the late 1500s notorious for his obsession with esoterica. Historical letters suggest Rudolph once bought a mysterious book of unknown script for a staggering sum. Was the Voynich manuscript created purely to fleece him? If so, it is one of history's greatest cons. Producing 240 pages of fake text with over 35,000 characters, all statistically behaving like real language, would have been a monumental task, even for a genius trickster. To this day, computer models struggle to generate gibberish that mimics natural language so convincingly. If it was a hoax, it was far ahead of its time. And so the manuscript sits between worlds, too structured to be meaningless, too strange to fit any known system. Every theory, occult cipher, alien relic, brilliant scam, makes it seem either more profound or more absurd, but none explains it fully. If the text refuses to yield its secrets, perhaps the book itself can. Scholars have turned to the physical pages and illustrations of the Voynich manuscript, searching for tangible clues. And what they've found only deepens the mystery. First, the material evidence. Carbon dating of the vellum shows it was prepared between 1404 and 1438, placing the book firmly in the European Middle Ages. The ink-yanks and pigments match those used in the 15th century. No modern forgeries here. Whatever the Voynich is, it is authentically medieval. Then, the provenance. When Wilfrid Voynich acquired the manuscript in 1912, he discovered a letter tucked inside, dated 1665, from a Prague scholar named Johannes Marcus Marci. In it, Marci confessed that even his brilliant contemporaries, including the famous polymath Athanasius Kircher, had failed to decipher the book. This proves one thing beyond doubt. The Voynich was already baffling minds centuries before us. The illustrations add to the puzzle. The plant drawings look almost right. Roots, stems, leaves carefully inked. But no botanist has ever matched them to real species. Some appear to be composites, mixing traits of different herbs into impossible hybrids. Were these mistakes, stylized symbols, or depictions of plants we no longer recognize? The astronomical diagrams are equally cryptic. They show suns, moons, and what appear to be zodiac wheels. Curiously, many zodiac pages have labels written in a different hand. Recognizable medieval Latin month names like October. Why would a book filled with indecipherable script also contain a few ordinary words in Latin? Was someone trying to annotate or interpret it centuries later? Other visual elements baffle researchers further. In the biological section, the nude female figures are shown not only bathing, but often connecting to strange pipes and tubes, as if part of some alchemical system. In the pharmaceutical section, roots are separated and placed beside jars, suggesting apothecary work. Yet the text explaining them remains unreadable. Put together, the clues sketch a context, a manuscript made in 15th century Europe, perhaps intended as a compendium of knowledge. Someone, at some point, thought it valuable enough to be circulated among scholars and emperors. And yet, despite all the effort to interpret its pages, we remain locked outside, peering through illustrations at a meaning we cannot reach. "600 years after it was written, the Voynich manuscript remains what it has always been, an open riddle daring us to solve it. For some, it is a cipher waiting for the right key. For others, it's the fossil of a lost language. To conspiracy theorists, it's alien wisdom or occult knowledge hidden from the church. And for skeptics, it's the greatest practical joke of the Renaissance. In truth, the manuscript has become a mirror. Everyone who gazes into it sees a reflection of their own obsessions. Codebreakers see puzzles, linguists see grammar, historians see context, dreamers see mysteries. Its cultural reach has grown far beyond the shelves of Yale's Voynich Library, where it resides today. It has appeared in novels, video games, even television dramas as the ultimate plot device, a book no one can read, carrying secrets that could rewrite history. Tourists and scholars still request access to the original vellum, running their eyes over the strange plants, the star charts, the women in green pools, searching, as countless others have, for a moment of clarity that never arrives. And yet the manuscript is no longer locked away in secrecy. Thanks to modern digitization, high-resolution scans are freely available online, allowing anyone anywhere to join the hunt. Amateur sleuths in their living rooms now pore over the pages just as NSA cryptographers once did, hoping to be the one who spots the hidden pattern. Perhaps someday a breakthrough will come. Maybe a forgotten note in a monastery library will surface, providing a Rosetta Stone. Maybe new algorithms will finally detect the cipher. Or maybe the secret has already slipped through history's cracks, forever beyond reach. Until then, the Voynich Manuscript remains what it has always been, a beautiful enigma, a book filled with words that no one can read, but that everyone longs to understand. And in that longing, in that restless need to unlock the unreadable, lies its true power.